everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Dose. Today is Tuesday, August 23rd, and we kind of saw a little bit of recovery in the beginning of the day on the markets. People kind of bought that sell-off from yesterday, and then through the rest of the day, we kind of went flat, and then we finished red. The S&P 500 was down about 0.2%. The Dow was down 0.5%, and the NASDAQ was down 0.27 points. Wow. So the NASDAQ was completely flat on the day, barely down, but not even down 0.01%. And they go into some, that's the news. They have to give reasons of why stocks go up and down, but we've been looking at it for a couple weeks now, and the S&P 500 bounced off this trend line, and actually I want to start using the 200-day moving average because we talked about it in our weekend video and about the significance of it, and it lined up right with our trend line right here, and it bounced off and rejected the 200-day moving average. And so the candle we got today is right here. We kind of bought up into the top of this zone, the 41.57 level, and we sold off. And we closed at 41.28, so we're kind of in the bottom end of this zone. If we break through, I expect 4,000 to be a psychological zone, but there's no real support there. And then after that, 39.68 to 39.33 will be our target zone for some buying support. We kind of expected this after we rejected off this zone. Now we're having some selling. We've been talking about it for quite some time now. This is the trend line we're going to be looking at now for the near future. I think whenever this trend line gets breached, that'll signal that the bear market is over, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. But for now, I'm expecting some more selling. Obviously, looks really, really bearish on the S&P 500. That candle is not good. That's what they call a bearish hammer. And that's when you have the candle shaped like a hammer, but it's red, and you have the wick rejection on the top, and we have it lining up with the top of a zone. So I don't think we're going to be buying up through the 41.60, but I could be wrong. That's just my 2 cents on it. Bitcoin's been holding the 20,000 level quite strongly. It's rejected it twice now. It doesn't look strong by any means, but it's kind of just hovering above the 20,000. We're at 21.5 right now. Obviously, if the market goes into a really big sell-off, we could come back down to this zone on Bitcoin and retest the lows. Obviously, if we go through the lows, we've talked about what would happen in that case. We'd revisit the 11,000 probably on Bitcoin. There's really no support until 11,000. And then after that, 9,000. So not really good if we break through here, but we're not even there yet. We're still holding this 20,000 level. So that's what we had today in the stock market and the crypto markets. Tomorrow, there's supposed to be an announcement regarding student loan forgiveness. So that'll be really interesting to see how the market reacts to that. If it reacts to it at all, that would be kind of in line with stimulus. So the market could interpret that as good for people buying stocks, putting money into the stock market, or it could interpret it as negative for inflation, as that would definitely not help our inflation problem. So that'll be interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on that. I have student loans myself, so obviously I might be a little biased with what I want to happen there. That's all we had today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, and as always, thank you for listening.